Good morning. My name is Willie Lawson. Welcome to the Morning Report. Listen, what I want to entitle this series, Why is this the way it is? Why have universities become the ideological and political silos that they are? And they are. When Turning Point comes to campus, it seems to be for some students a visceral reaction that they must push against it. They can't just ignore it. They cannot just ignore it. They cannot ignore it and have a few people there and have it not well attended. So people stop doing it because if it's not well attended, then why continue to do it? They never get to that point. They always have to react, and they always have to react in some negative way. What forces them to react in some negative way? I think we've all been in discussions with people where we've been taught, people in our age group have been taught, if we're going to talk about something, we're going to talk about them, radical, calmly, and we're going to talk about it rationally, and we're not going to resort to ad hominem attacks. I'm not going to attack you. We're just talking about the idea. And then something snaps, and then they're mad. They are so angry, and then they attack you. Let me relate a story to you. It's welcome to Dad's story time. Listen, welcome to Grandpa's story time. I have a childhood friend. When I say childhood, I mean like third grade, 8 years old. When we moved to Tampa from New Jersey, and we moved to a place called Progress Village. Crazy, ain't it? Progress Village. We call it the Ville, PV, whatever. It's still there. And I had this friend, Wendell, and Wendell. I don't know. I don't know why we became friends. I think that because I got picked on a lot, and he was a nice kid, and his dad was military, so they had been moved around a lot. Uh, I, I don't think he was born in Tampa, so he understands. He understood, and his older brothers and sisters understood about being the new kid, and so we became friends. And they moved when I was in ninth grade, I guess. They found that they moved and went to Arizona, I think, strangely enough. And through the magic of Facebook, I think I reconnected with one of his sisters. I don't remember if it was Suzette or Paula. I don't know. It was the one I didn't have a crush on. I had a crush on Suzette. She was close to my age, and I love the name Suzette. But anyway, but we hooked up again via Facebook, and we actually had a conversation, not through Facebook, but we actually had a conversation on the phone. I actually gave him my number, and I remember it was a Saturday because I was going to do Porch Talk Radio, and we were just talking. This is someone that I hadn't seen since I was 15, and so now I'm in my 60s. I'm in my early 60s. I'm 59, 60 years old, and I want to talk to him. I want to see, where you been? I mean, are you married? Do you have kids? Do you have grandkids? Where are they? Where are all your brothers and sisters? Are your mom and dad still alive? All the stuff that I just want to talk to him. The very last thing, the very last thing back here, way down there, was, so what's your political affiliation? That was so far in the back of my mind. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, it wasn't in my mind at all. I didn't care. It never came to mind. So we're talking for a little bit, just, I'm trying to just make normal conversation. How's everybody? I hear that your brother, your old brother, Charles, ran for political office here in Florida. How's he doing? I want to know what's happened to you, man. What's going on? What's life been like? Well, Conversation turns. He says, "So I see that you're a Trump supporter." I'm like, "Yeah, man, whatever." I'm like, "Yeah." Is this for me right now the better? And I told him, for me right now, it's a better option. And I told him, like I told y'all, in my house in 2016 in the Florida primary, there were 3 Republican votes. One was for Ted Cruz. The other 2 were for Marco Rubio. So at the end of the day, we ended up, there were 3 for Trump. Okay, moving on, right? It's just how it is. We all have opinions. We all have thoughts. We all have whatever. I didn't think that that was a stopping place. But I get to this, I get to the radio station and I gotta go. And he was like, "Yeah, this is not over, man. We're gonna talk about this." I'm like, "All right, well," I told him, "I really don't want to. I really don't want to talk about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter." I said, I told him straight up, "I want to know about you. I want to know about what you've been up to." Anyway, I said, "Well, I got to go." I mean, they were getting ready to get started, and I had to get upstairs, and it was like, I got to go. And love you, man. I'll talk to you later. Okay. Days go by, a week or so goes by, and then he hits me up on Facebook. I am right, and then we have this text thing back and forth for a bit, and I'm like, I just, for the very same reason that I've told everybody who has watched this channel, who was caught up with me on Facebook, a lot of the very same reasons. I saw what Democrats had not done where I lived, and thought, you know what, maybe it's time that we that I consider something else. Especially after the birth of my son, I thought that, I don't share the same feelings and messages of Democrats. I just don't. And maybe I should change some stuff around. So I did. 2016 rolls around, Trump. Okay. Still, things that Trump talked about, some of them still resonate. Everything, no, but some. Enough. How about that? Enough. So yeah, okay. I would have preferred Marco Rubio, which put me at odds with a lot of Republicans at the time because of the Gang of Eight. Uh, but I didn't care. I didn't care then. I didn't care. I'm not here to please them. I don't care. In any case, I basically try to just, through the, you know, I tried to, calm it down, redirect to, are you still in, Arizona? I went to Arizona a couple of times, and it was like the service of the sun. Why does anybody live there? And did you go to school? He wanted to talk about why I was a bootlicking Trump supporter, and he went into some. He just went off the rails. Absolutely went off the rails. Now, again, we hadn't seen each other since we were teenagers. He went off the rail. And I was like, wow. And what I didn't want to do, I didn't want to keep that going. I didn't want to fuel that. So I did what I did at the time, and what I do now is that I said, you know what, this makes me very sad, but I'm going to go ahead and block him, right? And end this, because it didn't seem like I could repair it. It just didn't seem like I could repair it. I don't understand why the visceral reaction. He never asked me if I was married, if I had kids. He never asked me if I had grandkids. He never asked me, where you working, what have you done for a living, are you retired? Nothing. Never asked me a thing about me or the things around me. He was hyper focused on that one thing, to the point that he frothed himself up into this frenzy and this and I wish I still had the I am, but I don't. I deleted it. I just went on. And then I don't know, a month later I was doing a TikTok live, and then he found me on TikTok again, couldn't stop, and was trolling my TikTok. I banned him. So I just wanted to to do what I was doing. I wasn't trying to. I'm not trying to evoke those of you who watch and subscribe. I'm not trying to evoke an emotion. I'm trying to evoke a thought. Can we think about this? Can we talk about this rationally and logically? Now we may at the end of our discussion we may not agree, because I'm not here to recruit people. But can we talk about it? Yeah. Okay. And what I saw with Turning Point and Charlie Kirk, and Steven Crowder used to do the very same thing, but Steven Crowder had to stop because it became too dangerous. Why would it have become too dangerous? Why would it have become too dangerous? When there were threats, when people were actually physically attacking, his people, when all he was asking people to do was, here's the premise, prove me wrong. Sit right here, have a bottle of water, let's have a conversation. That's it. That's it. Not let's have a fight. Let's not have a screaming match. Let's not call each other vile names. Let's have a conversation about this. Charlie Kirk said it. He said that when people stop talking, bad things happen. So people wonder why are you still doing this YouTube channel? You just barely got 1,000 subscribers, and you've been doing it since 2011. Yes, 2011. 10 ago, 14 years, 1,000 subscribers. Not exactly rocketing to the top of the YouTube rankings, because the discussions still have to be had. Can you think about it? Can you think about what we're saying? Can you think about what you're saying? Can you think about what you think? And that's the hardest thing ever. Thinking about what you think. It's easy to say what you think, but are you thinking about what you're thinking? Have you molded over? Have you challenged what you think? And that's what we're going to continue to talk about. Do we see you again? Go out there and learn to love somebody. And for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye bye now.